I think when you're talking to individual members of extremist organisations, I think that engaging with them and talking to them can, and in fact we've seen has very often, be a way of bringing them out. So you're not going to be able to get people out if you completely cut them off. We're actually helping terrorist organisations retain their members if we don't talk to them.
You know, I've never met anybody who wants to call themselves a terrorist, and I think it's a really unhelpful word, because as soon as we hear the word terrorist, we think someone beyond human, someone very scary, someone who perhaps we shouldn't talk to. So that's very unhelpful.
You can't talk to someone. I talk to my little son. I talk, you let your bottle of babies, you take a cup, yeah? But I talk also with my son. I say, look, we are a good team. We have to help each other. You only can talk with somebody. And terrorists or extremists or people who use violence, they are adults and they think somebody. Even they are ready to spend their life. So you have to take them serious and you have to talk with them.
On the organisational side, on the plus side, we've seen examples such as Northern Ireland and others that if the circumstances are right, engagement and negotiation with organisations that act in a terroristic fashion can have some benefits.
Do we have the right not to engage with the UVF or the IRA? Do we have that right? That's the big question. Not a question of should we talk or should we listen to those other people, but do we have the right not to do it? Who tells us when it's right to talk to those people? In the end, what is terrorism about? Mostly it's about resolving a political or ideological conflict. If you want to resolve an ideological conflict or a political conflict, how can you do that other than talking with the other?
Patrick McGee, who was responsible for planting the bomb, he sees other people call him a terrorist, but he would never call himself that. And I remember when I first heard about the terrorists, the IRA, you know, I was scared. You know, I saw them, I dehumanized them because of the label they were given. And now that I have spent the last 14 years in dialogue, in working and becoming friends with Patrick McGee, you know, I can see that the label does not fit who he is and what he was doing. Yes, he did do acts of violence which people were killed, but that doesn't mean that he's someone who we should never communicated with.
Today in a discussion with one of the panel members, the listening idea came up, that we also have to listen to terrorists. We may like all the time what they have to say, but they have to say something. There is a message in there. There might be a political message, there might be a religious message. And like I said, we don't always like those messages, but at least it's something that could bring us beyond the violence.
All of us in this discussion have a temptation to dehumanize the other side, to act as if there's an absolute black and an absolute white, an absolute right and an absolute wrong. And in a centre like this and in a city like this, I think the people have come through hard history to realise that that's not always the case. And the first step towards engaging in any dialogue and building any peace has to be realising the complexity of our histories, and that you know, if things had worked out slightly differently, I could be in your shoes and the other way around. So I think Coventry is a very important place to keep this, have this debate and discussion.